A very good morning to my supervisors from my final year project 2. My name is Priscilla Ananithan, number matric 76579. Would like to present about my final year project 2. The topic that I have chosen is how should managers deal with employees' behavior in the organization. Next, we move to the next slide. As you can see here, the research is split into 5 chapters. For the first one is talk about the introduction of the studies, background of the studies, and identify what are the problem statement of the topic chosen, the research question, and identify what is the objective in doing the research. In chapter 2, talk more about literature review, the theories and concept used, the concepts of framework, and develop the hypothesis. Chapter 3 will talk about the research methodology. In part methodology, discover in analyzing data collection, the number of sample size chosen randomly, and choose what methods or procedures in evaluate the data analysis. Chapter 4 is more about summarizing the result from the data collection after being analyzed using the SPSS. Besides that, in Chapter 4, talk about what the discussion whether the hypothesis is accepted or rejected. For the last chapter is talk about conclusion of the studies or the project and what are the recommendations or improving for the future research. Next, we move to introduction. In the introduction, we know that the aims and objective for this final project is 1. To focus on how will manager be able to deal with employees' behavior in the organization. The second objective is may the employees' behavior can affect the organization. And the third aim is did the management change might affect employees' behavior in the organization. So next we start with chapter 1. In chapter 1, talk about every manager should have their leadership skills in manage their employees' behavior in the organization. Every manager should understanding the employees' behavior to enhance the productivity. Managers as a leader should be a role model in the organization and focusing in get the good vibes among the employees. Next, we move to the background of study. In background of study, more discover on manager responsible to increasing the employees' productivity as it is one of the key of success in the organization. And the aim in this is to evaluate and observe what kind of employees' behavior that might be challenging to managers in the organization. So, next one is shown about the problem statement in the research, research objective and significance of study. So, the problem statement. For the first one is the employees' productivity drops due to the poor attitudes and behaviors in the organization. The poor performance among the employees may be challenging to the managers. Besides that, the changes in management or the organization may affect the new circumference among the employees. Research methodology. First one is employees' behavior may change due to several factors that happens in the organization circumference. Research objective is to determine the employees' performance in achieving goals in the organization. The organization change whether affect the whole company or only the employees' behavior. We move to the significance of study. Significance of study is to reveal will the managers be able to change the poor behavior among the employees in the organization and improving it with the professional commitment. Based on the past research by Gayet Tovmasyan, 2017, managers are more responsible to setting up and achieving the organization goals through their employees. Next, we move to Chapter 2. Chapter 2 is talk about the literature review. Literature review is used to get an overview of the existing research or arguments with the same topics or research that has been done before and compare with the current research. Literature review is to provide the context for the research topic in ensuring the research or the thesis help more understanding to others readers. in Chapter 2, including the concept and theories. The researchers has chosen to use the threat theory and behavioral theories in this research. Trait theories. What is trait theories? Trait theories is to identify some personality and behavior characters such as quality with intelligence of the white mind. While for the behavioral theories is a big leap from the trait theory and assumes the manager's capability to be inherent. As shown in the slide is the conceptual framework developed by the researchers. In general, the conceptual framework explains the action needed during the research study based on the information and knowledge obtained from other researchers before and founding the points of view. As you can see here, the independent variables and the dependent variables is developed by researchers. Under independent variables is including workplace environment, performance pressure, stress level, and productivity employees. While for the dependent variable is more about the factors that might the employee's behavior may be changed. Next is Chapter 3. What is Chapter 3? Chapter 3 is part of methodology. The research designs to conduct research was qualitative data. The qualitative data is chosen to aim the quantity of the information from the samples chosen. As you can see here, there is 4 parts. The first part is the population. The researchers has targeted the age range 18 years old and above in answering the online questionnaire which is distributed by the Google form. Next, the sample size is only 63 respondents randomly between the age of 18 years old and above, this is the procedures in collecting the data. Next, we move to the primary data. An online survey by Google Forms is distributed to the respondent randomly and it is open-ended. The data analysis that has been chosen by researchers is the compare mean. Analyze the compare mean between the independent variables and dependent variables. After the data collection that has been collected by the researchers, it will be exported to the SPSS application. And this is the result as shown. Next, in Chapter 4 is talk about results, findings, and discussion. In Chapter 4, the researchers will summarize all the results from the data collection, which is Google Form, where the questionnaire answer from the respondent were obtained with many questions to help the researchers to accomplish the studies. In this Chapter 4, it will present the descriptive statistics of respondents, how the sample size was chosen, and others. As the researchers mentioned before, the data collection, which is obtained in Chapter 3, will be transformed into Chapter 4, where the result, findings, and discussion will be discussed in there. As shown in the slide, this is the samples from the SPSS, which developed by the researchers. Finally, we reach to the Chapter 5, which is the final chapter in this study. In Chapter 5, talk about the conclusion, recommendation, and research limitation. In conclusion, researchers find out that only one objective in this project has been successfully achieved. And there were some of recommendation research by the researchers. In future research, the researchers suggested that the topic with management in organization influences on employees and players will be done. Besides that, future research should be focused on what aspect of the organization management. The researchers also suggested studies about social system concept practiced by manager and organizational culture should be done for future research. Next, research and methodology. The researchers facing a limitation on references, literature review due to the lack of reading and searching in doing this research. and also the number of respondents is less than 100, with it the researchers managed to able only collected 63 respondents in accomplish this project. I guess that's all for my presentation for my final year project, which is with the title How Should Manager Deal with Employees' Behavior in the Organization. Even though there were difficulties and limited information that is provided by researchers, but researchers hope that we'll get a better mark in the end.